This video is going to go over page 3 and 4 in your background packet. I'd like to remind you before we get started into what I consider the heart of the background packet that it is imperative that you are completely truthful and honest and complete in filling out this packet. With that being said, following directions is going to be key. One direction I would like to advise you of is the use of the term DNA. DNA is going to be written in any box that does not pertain to you. Starting with page 3, the front portion is pretty self-explanatory. For example, with DNA, if you get to number 10, where it states spouse's name before marriage, if you are not married, that is an example of where you will write DNA. As you work your way down page 3, there's a section for high school degree. Number 16, when and where did you receive it? It is important that you put not only the high school name, the year you achieved your degree, but also include the city and state where you attended. Section 17, it goes into the military service. If you do not have military service, you can simply check off no and move on to the next page. If you do, check off yes, follow the instructions below, and also be prepared to have your DDD 214 ready when you attend your interview. We can move on to page 4. Section 18 on page 4 is personal references. It states list at least 3 people who have known you for over 1 year, excluding relatives or former employers who can answer questions concerning your past conduct and character as it applies to your meeting the minimum standards for appointment. As you notice in that section, it only asks for 3. However, there are 4 spaces. And at the very end, we will touch on what is called the continuation page, where you can add even more info if you would like. When filling this out, be very specific and give as much detail of your references as possible. Full names, street address with city, state, and zip code. You can also include email address in that column. Home phone, work telephone, and years known. When it comes to telephone numbers and email addresses, the more that you can add, the better off you're going to be and the more assistance you will be for your background investigator. When it comes to years known, we would like to see a variety of years that you have known the person. We don't really want to see all 3 of your references only knowing you for approximately 1 year. Examples of references you can use are friends that you grew up with, friends' parents you grew up with, anybody that's been around you throughout your life that can give multiple different stories, reference your character and why you would be a great fit for the Phoenix Police Department. Section 19 on page 4. Excluding family members, list all persons you have lived with during the past 5 years. Once again, give as much detail as you possibly can when filling this out. Name, address, any email addresses you may have for them, multiple phone numbers if available, and what your relationship is or was with them when living. We understand that there are multiple occasions where you might have lost touch with those individuals that you used to live with. We ask of you to do as much homework, whether it's via social media, going through other friends of friends, whatever it may be, do as much homework as you can to track down all the information provided. Number 20 on page 4, family references. List all immediate relatives, parents, siblings, spouses, ex-spouses, and all children. You can use the continuation page, which will be explained to you in a different video, if you do not have enough spaces here. Name, relationship, age, address, and telephone number once again come into play. If for some reason you have a family member who is deceased, either under age or relationship, still include them, but put in parentheses deceased. We do not have anything against your grandparents or aunts and uncles or cousins, but this is not the section to list them. This is strictly parents, siblings, spouses, ex-spouses, and children.